I just saw this post on Twitter. Warrior64 Control Ultimate Edition plus Alan Wake franchise bundle is $7.96 on Steam. I click the link, I go to Steam, and I go to the Remedy page, and you know what I'm looking for? Alan Wake 2 on Steam. And behold, it's not here. So this is an old game. I get it. Or sorry, these are old games. The Alan Wake franchise bundle. And I'm like, Alan Wake franchise bundle, that's basically, Alan Wake, the collector's edition and all of that stuff being sold for pennies on the dollar. But there's another game that Remedy Entertainment has, and that is Alan Wake 2. A game that Epic Games has held captive with the exclusivity arrangements that are actually attached to it. Now, you guys know that exclusivity is one of my favorite topics to actually point out, and I am so glad that the gaming industry is getting exposed for having taken that route of exclusivity and everything else come and embody them. What's worse, and I gotta say this to Epic Games, is you guys have the most popular game in the world that literally competes against every single game, right? And guess what? You are still in the business of holding games hostage to your launcher. Everything you do about your launcher that has basically been to attract players, as much as we'll take your free games, seems to be that you need to do more. So instead of doing more in improving the customer experience, you basically are in the business of now, because you sponsored the game, right? Wanting to go this direction and this route. You could have made more money. Alan Wake 2 would have sold a good number, and you would have been getting your 4% and your ROI that you probably invested with. I said 4%. You don't get 4%. They didn't use it on Unreal Engine. You'd have been getting your ROI if the game had been selling, but using it as an exclusive to bring people to come to your store is not necessarily the behavior that a lot of gamers will engage in. This is exactly why I think this exclusivity thing is a joke, especially in today's, environment. Because one of the reasons exclusivity has become a joke is simply because of Epic Games themselves. Yet here they are engaging in exclusivity while they are bodying everybody. Every single game that comes out, according to Matt Piscatella, has to deal with Fortnite. So even the game that they've sponsored, Alan Wake 2, or I guess they've worked with, or whatever deal they had going on, is still getting bludgeoned by Fortnite because, bro, that's what people are playing. So when you had an opportunity to launch a game like this, you chose and decided that you were going to put it on the platform that is the least popular among the PC launchers. Bro, people pay money for EA Play and Ubisoft Plus. People play long-term games on Ubisoft like Rainbow Six and so on and so forth. I'm telling you, the Epic is one of the least, in terms of game launcher world, one of the least favorable. And I use it, and I take their games, and I'll play games there, once in a while. I got a game library there, but I'm telling you, from the gaming side, it's actually really weird. And I use the developer side, too, for Unreal Engine, which is also wild. So I'm sitting here going, how is exclusivity here going to go ahead and benefit anybody in this kind of a climate? It's kind of absurd. I'm looking at it and I'm evaluating it and I'm thinking the absurdity of this whole thing has just made me, in a sense, much more amazed and astounded every single day, to the point where now they're selling their games that they own and publish at peanuts. In fact, even Remedy themselves are looking at this whole thing and saying, you know what? Maybe we should go to where we can get a multiplat deal, because when they launch Firebreak, when they launch FBC Firebreak, they launched it on both PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass. And now they're making it available everywhere, and it's on Steam as well, too. So even they themselves know and understand that exclusivity ain't going to do much for them. Hence, they're putting their game everywhere. So Epic Games, I think you guys have come to the gaming side of the market from the really, wrong position. In fact, it's been weird all this while when it comes to gamers. From the developer side, you've been doing good in some cases, right? And actually, majority of the cases, getting that engine out there to developers, giving a lower percentage cut for their games. These have been great things. But the fact that you are jumping into exclusivity And the fact that the irony of the fact that you're jumping to exclusivity is lost on everybody, that you have basically one of the most popular games in the world that constantly obliterates every other game that's launching, is just so wild to me. I think it is. I mean, if anybody hasn't looked at it, this is why Xbox, as they decided to walk away from exclusivity, right, started to lead the way. And as many people shouted and screamed about how exclusivity is good and blah, 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 they are now seeing that the games that they are not buying and playing need people to buy them. For instance, Helldivers 2. The biggest stain on the Xbox community, on the PlayStation community till date, and I'm talking about the talking head community and yelly, YouTube-y, Twittery community, is that PC gamers have been the ones carrying Helldivers 2 for a very long time. Look at it here on the Steam charts. Steam charts US on the far left in pink, Helldivers 2 is number 4. Last week it was number 5. Canada, Helldivers 2 is number 3. Last week it was number 4. Mexico, Helldivers 2 is number 8. Last week it was number 9. When I go to PlayStation, I'm not seeing it appear there. Hence, y'all weren't buying the game because it was console locked. And so now the publisher is looking and saying, we need to come out here and harness and farm dough. You've been clowned. All of you that have been basically screaming and shouting for pro exclusivity, you're looking at right now the clown world that's being built right in front of you. And I think many of you actually understand that from a logical perspective, a game being available for more people actually is beneficial to those who actually made the game. But in your mind, somewhere, somehow, you had to maintain a position of being, right when you're absolutely, spreading moronic takes. Oh, exclusivity does A, B, C, and D. Exclusivity, blah, 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 blah. Exclusivity is supposed to be this thing that brings you and differentiates you from the... But there was a time when those set of statements were actually accurate. I'm not saying that it's never been the case. I'm just saying that as the market started to change and transform, how have you guys been able to continue to justify such draws without taking account that in today's market, you're literally sitting in the same bin and basket with thousands of games every single month being launched? Over 1,000. It's insane. Last year, there were 18,000 plus games launched in the year. So each month had an average of over 1,000 plus games when you think about it. So if this is the, layer that we're going to be seeing where, you're going to be giving away your game for peanuts, which we're not mad. By all means, you want money, take money, but you have product and you've signed a deal, which, maybe it was beneficial for you to be able to pump out the game. But the game on its own, too, took a while before it hit profitability. Crazy stuff. So to those developers who are doing the work to get their games to gamers, from a pro-consumer side, we cheer you on. Those who know, consumers are going to like my game, Stellar Blade, and you don't bring it to other platforms, good luck out there fighting Fortnite. And those of you that signed deals with Epic Games to give them an exclusive title, we wish you double good luck out there with Epic Games constantly bolstering and fortifying Fortnite day in and day out as one of the biggest community games in the world that's going to check your game at the door before you can even talk to at least a significant percentage of gamers that exist on Earth. Xbox was right. Once again, Phil Spencer nailed it down. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.